Greetings, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood mailman, the Trojan Pair, here with Margarine as well. And I'm doing a very special Trojan Pairs Food Club series. It is my first ever week on, which, if you've never heard of a week on, it's where I do some sort of food challenge, diet, or certain thing where I spend a week eating or drinking or both of a particular thing. It's a series that I was inspired to do and have been eager to try to do from a YouTuber that I watch by Mike Jevons, who does these types of videos. I decided to do it kind of in the same vein that he does it from his series from the very beginning and do similar things, but do them with the American eye, so to speak, since he is British and things are a little bit different over there compared to over here. For example, his very first series was a week on Iceland frozen foods, which we don't have here. So the equivalent to me of going to a place like Iceland, because it's supposed to be discount food store for people that don't have a lot of money, is, well, place like discount grocery stores like Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. So that's the kind of places that I'm going to be eating my foods from. I'm going to be buying stuff from. And of course, by doing that, I'm going to try, at least with Dollar General and Family Dollar, to buy products that are their brand specific. And also with the foods, buy stuff that is specific to simple meals, kind of like how he was doing. So things like frozen foods, microwavable things, or just things that you don't really have to spend a whole lot of time preparing. Dollar General in these places are also kind of tricky for somebody like me because I am pescatarian. I have some, dietary restrictions. Gail also has dietary restrictions. She's also pescatarian, but she, even more so, got gluten intolerance. Not a serious one, but she does have a gluten intolerance, so she's not going to be able to partake in this because they are not going to really have a whole lot for her. So it's just going to be me pretty much partaking in this. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 3 stores, get the meals. Basically what I'm doing is I'm doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's a total of 21 different meals. I have to do meals too for 5 days of work. So for 5 days of work, I have to make sure that I have really simple meals that are very quick from my 5 work days. Probably going to be the same thing for those 5 days for the most part. Same thing for lunch. I have to have something really light, really simple. The days I'm off, I can do something a little bit more extravagant. I also want to do something as much as possible, at least on those days where I'm not having the exact same thing every day, at least to kind of make this somewhat interesting. I do want to have, considering that these foods are probably not going to be very healthy based, might be lacking in some vegetables. I need to ensure that I am getting at least one serving of a vegetable every day, one serving of a fruit, which is probably going to be like orange juice for breakfast. Also, most people, I can't imagine, a lot of people, I don't think they would spend some money on some drinks, probably not a lot. So I am going to buy some branded drinks probably for dinner. I will just be having water for lunch though. So I'm going to kind of do that. And then of course, I'm going to buy a small little tiny dessert as well, purely because I need something to nibble on in the evenings when I'm taking my meds at night. I'm going to go to the stores, and then once I go to the stores and do everything, we'll start day 1, and we'll look at the weigh-in and then breakfast after that and what we've got in store. So I'm kind of excited to do this. This is a bit of a vlog sort of thing. I hope that you enjoy this. I look forward to maybe a little feedback about some things, and I can give you some responses and whatnot to that. So let's get started. All right, just got out of Family Dollar, my first stop. And unfortunately, not a whole lot there. I did go to one of the bigger ones, which did have a few extra things, but not as successful as I was hoping it could be compared to the one that I visited earlier planning. I got one dinner and maybe a lunch or another dinner possibly. So we're going to go to our second destination. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up all the drink options, at least from Dollar Tree. All right, just got done with Dollar Tree now. Got a few more things. Doing a lot better here compared to Family Dollar, but I still got quite a bit to do. So one more place to go. All right, last stop was Dollar General. We managed to pick up everything. Kind of a little tricky with a few things, but because of the way the prices were on a lot of stuff, I decided to add a few things to it, which you probably will hear in the intro, which I'll be recording after this. So we're going to get started. Probably the next thing you'll probably see me do is talk about day one, which will be the weigh-in. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the weigh-in. All right, 234.4. All right, it is time for breakfast, and let us start with our morning drink, which is Clover Valley orange juice, which anything that says Clover Valley, that is from Dollar General. This is pretty standard in terms of orange juice. I chose orange juice as a drink because it's probably the only fruit-based entity that I'm going to be having for the most part, other than what I'm having for breakfast, which supposedly has fruit in it for this entire week on. So this is what I chose as my drink of choice for breakfast. And the food, probably one of the more involved things that I'll have, is oatmeal. Fruit and cream oatmeal. What's going to be interesting is there's 6 packs in it, but it's 3 different flavors. So in the 5 days, a couple repeaters, and you'll see there are similar statistics in terms of calories, sodium, slightly different on the bananas and cream on that, and the fat content. So we're going to kick this off now. I think sometimes people like to put milk in the oatmeal. I have done that before, but that would cost extra, and that's not part of my $40 budget. So I'm going to make this with just the water, and we'll get started with that. All right, orange juice is ready. We've got the oatmeal, the bowl, and the water. So we're going to add that. This is also Clover Valley, if you noticed, which means Dollar General brand. Once again, typical stuff. Put the water in. And it's at half a cup. So I guess it saturates that pretty good. And then we will stir that up. Pop it in the microwave. Alright, here is the peaches and cream oatmeal. It actually thickened up pretty good, so we'll try it out in just a second once it cools down. It's an interesting flavor to the orange juice. I mean, it is orange juice. A little bit sweeter than some of the major brands that I've had. Perfectly fine, it's orange juice. I'm not going to complain. This is the interesting thing to see how this compares to oatmeal, especially since I never had anything with any oatmeal with peaches in it or this style. So interested to see how this is going to be, because I'm going to be having this for 5 out of the 7 days for breakfast. Oddly enough, this is pretty decent oatmeal. I'm actually rather impressed, despite the fact that this is just water and all the weird little fruitiness to it being off-brand too. You kind of worry about the quality of it. It is a little bit weaker than traditional oatmeal, but it may have a lot to do with the water as opposed to like adding milk to it, but it's perfectly good how it is, and I'll be able to eat this, get ready for lunch. Well, I am now on my lunch break, so that means it's time for our second thing. Now, drink-wise, I'm just having regular water, free resource that everybody has availability to. And that's going to be my regular thing during the workday. Another thing that's going to be my regular on the workday is this Clover Valley, which means it is Dollar General. It's a chewy dipped granola bar. Chocolate chip version. Has about, as you can see, 140 calories in it. So we've got, let's see, 5 grams of fat, not bad. Sodium, 50 milligrams. Not bad overall. The fact that it's 140 calories, given how small this is, though, is quite interesting. Because what I normally have as a granola bar for my lunch, I've been doing this for lunch lately because of certain medications I've had to be on. So there is something I have that's a little more filling, but I haven't had to worry about it because I generally snack a lot of the days, but the only thing I'll be snacking on is extras that I have of other stuff, and I'll show you what my daily snacking of extras is going to be. But see, there it is. It's a little bitty thing, and it has 140 calories in it. The granola bar that I usually have that is Fiber One is probably about that much thicker, maybe a little bit longer. So yeah, not a lot for just 140 calories. I will need it's good though. Can't complain about that. Chewy. That's the inside of it. There we go. Definitely gonna need the snack after work today though. But it's good at least. Alright, it's snack time. Back from work, and I'm gonna have the extra bar. Alright, it is now dinner time, and I am going to have my series of things that I bought. First off, the main meal, frozen dinner from Dollar Tree. The good thing about doing a Dollar Tree, which helped a lot with the frozen dinners, is everything costs the same anyway, so it doesn't really matter what brand you buy. So I got the 5 cheese ziti, which Looks good on the box, but of course we'll see how that ends up being. Should be a pretty simple deal there. Only 210 calories for the whole thing. However, of course you see the sodium is quite high on that, as common with a lot of TV dinners. But as is common with a lot of these dinners that I have, there are no vegetables, and I have got to have vegetables at least a little bit throughout this time. So I spent a little extra money to get an add-on and got from Clover Valley, aka Dollar General, a can of mixed vegetables. This will make 2 servings for me, so I can have half today, half tomorrow. And then for a drink, I got a soda because, well, let's be honest, you gotta have something other than water. So went with Dollar Tree's discount soda, Stars and Stripes. This one should last me a few days. I hate 2 liters personally because you gotta drink it all within a certain time before it goes bad. But we'll try it, see how that is. All right. Dun 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 dun. What? Seems to be a little bit of a lack of cheesiness to this. So, this is going to be interesting to see how this holds up. Got my glass here. Okay. It's obviously cheap Coke. Not super carbonated for something being as fresh as it's supposed to be. But it's fine. It'll do the job. I'm going to see how I feel later on, because these are the types of things that make me feel very belchy later on. All right, here we go. We're going to start with the mixed vegetables. Try to get a few of them in here. There we go. Yeah, it's fine. It's definitely missing that little extra bit of butter to it that I would put in, or some other kind of seasoning to just kind of enhance it a little bit. But it's fine the way it is. I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't have this. This is fine. It's what I need. And now the big piece de resistance, the ziti. Again, for something that's labeled as cheesy, it is very light on the cheese. The sauce is very good. I'll give it that. I do like the sauce. The sauce is very nice. Everything seemed to cook pretty well in the microwave, the timing and everything that was instructed on it. Decent, cheap meal. Not going to gripe too hard about this. The only thing is, not a ton of food, so I'm wondering how hungry I'm going to feel after this whole thing is done, because a lot of light meals. There are going to be some that aren't going to be too light, so I'm going to look forward for those days when I have those. But we decided to do pasta tonight because Thursday night is traditionally kind of like a night that we like to do pasta. Certainly didn't have to, but I thought it was appropriate. And I think I'm going to enjoy this just fine. All right. Well, we just got back from the movie. Sparkle really made me feel hungry from having popcorn and a drink, which I could not have. So, having had taken my meds now, because it's that time of night, it's time for my dessert, which means we're going to try the waffle cones filled with milk chocolate. Sweet Smiles. This is a product of Dollar General, yet again. And this is something I've never actually seen before like this. Obviously, I've seen like ice cream versions of this, but never in like small candy form. See there, 100 calories for 4 pieces. We'll do 1 serving tonight. This means I'm going to have extra, so I'll be able to utilize that because this will take more than the 2 days that I'll have allotted for this. There is also 20 milligrams of sodium and 4 grams of total fat. So let's take a look. Alright, let's see. Ooh, it smells good. I like the smell. It smells definitely good. Reminds me of that stuff. This is about what I figured. Not too surprised. The chocolate doesn't look quite as nice as it does on the cover. Of course, I really didn't think it was going to look like that, to be honest. I thought that was pretty deceiving. So, it's pretty hard chocolate, so let's try it. Yeah. It's almost exactly what you think it is. I'm trying to think exactly what that would be, the equivalent of it, but it's fine. I will enjoy it for what it is. It's not something I would necessarily be like hunting for, but pretty good though. Definitely going to enjoy the little bit that I get of this before calling it a day. We'll do the final analysis right after this. Well, this was certainly an interesting day. I have looked over what I've done on day 1. So to go over what we did, we started off with a orange juice as my primary fruit and an oatmeal, which also had a little fruit in it because it was peaches and cream. Very negligible amount, but certainly a very healthy breakfast, to say the least, compared to what Jevons had in his deal. Also very light, which is typical of what I do on my work days because I don't have a lot of time for prepping stuff or whatnot, and they don't really have any real good quick breakfast options that are not just simple stuff like oatmeal or anything similar to that. But it was very good. I really rather enjoyed the oatmeal. And then we went and did lunch. Now, lunch for me on work days is very light. Just had that granola bar, which probably not nearly as much, nor was it quite as good as what I would normally have, but it's good nonetheless. Can't complain about it other than just the fact that it was very minimal amount. Had another one as a snack because I had an extra that I could do. We'll probably be doing another snack tomorrow too. And then it was dinner. Dinner is supposed to be the big item. And yes, the 3 cheese ziti or 5 cheese ziti, I can't remember. It was a cheese ziti that didn't really have much cheese in it, but that was probably about the only complaint that I had from it because it was pretty good. Was it better than other stuff that I've had in the past? No, but it definitely satisfied enough food-wise. It wasn't satisfactory in filling me because alone that would not have been enough, but I did also have my daily vegetable, which was half a can of mixed vegetables, and that was fine, except I had to eat them plain out of, microwave it out of a can, so not as good as probably what it would have been. Also, cheaper brand vegetables are not quite as good either, but they're still good. I'm not complaining about that either. Got to have my only soda of the day, which was the off brand Coke, and that was fine too. Haven't had any um, gas issues, belching or anything like that, so seems to not be too bad. Not too much acid going on, so pretty good. We'll see if that keeps up if we keep going with it. And then, of course, dessert. We had the waffle cones. I ended up having a serving and a half of that because there were actually a little bit more in there than what was stated. But overall, those were all very good. Everything I had was actually good. Are there things that I could have had that would have been better? Sure. Now, the real interesting thing is my numbers are really low for this day. So I knew it was going to be kind of low because of it being a work day, but my goodness. Here's the numbers. So everything that I had, I tabulated, and based on the Jevons numbers that he came up with, the calories supposed to be no more than 2,500. I'm at 1,030, which is really low. 95 grams of fat, only 24 grams, another really low number. And this was one that he always struggled with with his dinners. That he had the frozen dinners was salt intake, which I am way below that number as well. So I'm not going to have the same issues that he had, that's for sure, except I will say hunger may become a thing here where I am significantly decreasing the number because I'm pretty sure I've been hitting that number on a regular basis, and to be that far below is probably going to have to be an adjustment for me. So, we'll see how the rest of this week goes. I am probably going to be losing a little bit of weight from this. The weekends, I think, will be better because I'll be able to have larger lunches. So we'll see how the numbers go on that. But this has been a fun day. I look forward to seeing how day 2 through 7 goes. And we will see you on day 2.